Welcome back, everybody. Once again, we are Major Keys, and I'm Amy.
I'm Alina.
I'm Danielle.
And I'm Taya.
Our DJ Khaled quote for this week is "They will try to close the door on you, just open it." The title of today's session is Just Us, circa 2019. And a little bit about what to expect today. We're going to complete a fun warm-up activity titled Word Cloud. This will be followed by the main activity, which is focused on conflict resolution. The activity will encourage viewing situations from all perspectives while demonstrating effective resolution techniques to address conflict. Then we will, of course, end with enough time to process and share our thoughts and feelings. And the entirety of today's session should last no longer than 30 to 45 minutes.
Right, here's a little key rules. What happens in the session stays in the session. All members' confidentiality will be respected, and all members will be respected and treated fairly. We expect all the members to take the group seriously unless stated otherwise. Here's a little disclaimer. Do not let all the rules fool you. We still want you all to have fun.
And the purpose of today's session: conflict arises and is present throughout various aspects of our lives. This inevitable factor creates difficult situations that have the potential to leave lasting effects. The purpose of this group therapy session is to recognize the importance of viewing situations from all perspectives while demonstrating effective resolution techniques to address these conflicts.
All right, so let's dive into our warm-up activity for today. The title of the activity is A Cloud Hanging with Conflict. So for this activity, we are going to ask that you guys go ahead and gather a pen or pencil and a sheet of paper. So on the sheet of paper, we're going to ask that you draw a picture of a cloud. Then think of an instance when you were involved in conflict. Third, think of 3 words that describes how the situation made you feel. And then once you've done that, we're going to ask that you go ahead and write those 3 words on your cloud. Afterwards, prepare to discuss a little bit more about your word cloud and your word choices. So we are actually going to give you guys a little example of how to do this. So I'll show you guys mine first. You guys can see it. So here's my cloud and my 3 words. So my 3 words that I chose are frustrated, angry, and misunderstanding. So Alina, do you want to share your word cloud with everybody?
So here is my cloud, and 3 words under that is anger, frustration, and bad feelings.
Those are good. Amy, do you want to share?
Yeah. So here's my cloud. And my 3 words are anxious, uncomfortable, and overwhelmed.
Those are also really good. TJ?
So here's my cloud. And my 3 words were annoyed, frustrated, and tired.
Okay, so we were all kind of along the same lines for this one. So at this time, we're going to ask that you guys go ahead and pause the video and take a few minutes to complete the activity. All right, you guys, thank you so much for participating, and we're going to keep moving on within our group session today. So our next activity is titled, What Would You Do? So for this activity, we're going to actually ask that the group be split up into 3 teams or 3 groups. The first being the blue group, the second, the red group, and the third, the green group. And so essentially what will happen is each group will be assigned a scenario, and the color of your group will coordinate with the color of the scenario. Let's keep moving. All right, so based on your assigned scenario, we're going to ask that you address the following. 1, identify both or all sides of the conflict. What parties are involved? 2, should anything have been or could have been handled differently? 3, what can be done to resolve the situation? So we're going to ask that you guys take about 5 to 10 minutes. Go ahead and pause the video to discuss these various scenarios. All right, thank you guys so much for taking the time to go through this activity. We're actually going to give you guys a little bit of feedback on these scenarios from our perspective. So we'll begin with TJ. TJ, could you give us a little bit of insight, a little bit of what you think about the scenario for the green group?
Okay, so for the green group, it basically revolved around bad customer service. And the person tried to take it to a higher up, and that manager also provided bad customer service. So first and foremost, I would definitely feel embarrassed, just because you're arguing with me, a customer who's trying to support your facility or organization, and you're arguing with me in front of all these people. So definitely I would be embarrassed. But I would definitely take this to probably corporate. Whoever's higher than the manager, that's the person I would definitely go with, because there's absolutely no need for you to be so rude to a customer.
TJ, you brought up some really great points. There is no need to be rude to a customer. Customer service is key in this type of environment. And so a lot of the times we might have to go to a higher up position to help get this type of situation resolved. So thank you for bringing that up. All right, Amy, would you like to comment on the red group scenario?
Yes, so my scenario was about a guy named John, and he's confronted by his boss, who's actually the owner of the restaurant he's working at, and she's threatening to fire him if he doesn't comply with her unsanitary practices. And in my opinion, this is kind of like an ethical standpoint, especially with COVID and everything right now. Sanitary practices are a very big deal, and choosing to go against these could cause someone to get sick or could cause a lot of problems in general. And so she's kind of asking him to go against what's just kind of humanely right now. And so if this was me and I was in this situation, I would want to take it to Daniel, what is it called? The people who inspect restaurants?
Oh, like representative from the health department?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would want to find out maybe who that specific representative is, if they have maybe a card or something that he could find. And if not, just contact the health department in general and let them know what's going on here, because it's not okay.
Yeah, no, Amy, you are absolutely right. Especially during COVID, you want to take even more precautions during this time. And so kind of feeding off of TJ's point, you might have to go to a higher authority like the health department to have this type of situation addressed, because it could definitely put people's health in danger. So thank you for bringing that up also. And Alina, would you like to comment on the blue group scenario?
My scenario include manager, me, and my friends who kind of stole things from the store that I work in. First of all, stealing is bad. Nobody should do that. And knowing that your friend works there, they should not be doing that. I really would feel heartbroken, like betrayed by my friends, because if my friends are like that, I do not want friends like that who comes to my store and steal things because I'm working there. So I would, first of all, cut the friendship with them. I would try to talk to the manager, try to convince him, say sorry. And then I also might want to try to talk to my friends to not do that further. And if they deny, I would not want to be friends with them anymore. But I definitely want my job. So I would request my manager and apologize for that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, those were definitely good points to bring up as well, because if any of your so-called friends were to do something like that, especially at a place where you work, they probably aren't your friends. And so definitely trying to reason with the manager, trying to explain the situation may also help to resolve it. So thanks you guys for participating.
All right, let's chat. So here's a question after you guys are done with the activities. We want you guys to think and discuss a little bit. How did you feel about the activities? Is it easier to determine how conflict should be handled when you're not directly involved? So easier to find resolution in this scenario than it was to resolve the situation that you reflect on when you created your word cloud. And we often reserve some of our thoughts and refrain from expelling certain details. So did you find that you reserve any feelings about the scenario, perhaps to avoid being judged by others within the group? Any opinion on that. So at this point, you guys can stop the video and then discuss among the group.
All right, so let's talk about how we can apply what we just did to our everyday situations. So I don't know if any of you guys might have noticed, but all the scenarios presented were job and employment based. So this activity can also help prepare you to handle conflict in a professional setting and contribute to work readiness. So at this time, you guys can pause the video to discuss these three questions. Why is it important to utilize conflict resolution techniques? When would you utilize conflict resolution techniques? And can you give examples and when and why conflicts might arise?
Alrighty, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And just a reminder, for everyone who participated, you will receive a key. On the back of that key is a clue, and that clue will be used in our very last session in this series. So please keep your key safe, and we will see you next time. And we're going to end today's session with a wonderful quote. It says, "The quality of our lives depends not on whether or not we have conflicts, but on how we respond to them."
Thanks, you guys. See y'all later.